Okay.
Okay.
So we had a moment today. We went and saw The Last Jedi.
We did.
I'm going to state right up front, there will be spoilers in this review because I don't know how we're going to talk about this without spoilers.
Right.
So if you don't want spoilers, just turn this off now. Okay? I have warned you. There will be spoilers. Okay. So
Okay.
let's discuss.
Okay.
Now we always do ratings at the end, but I think at this start of this one, I could say this is a 10 for me.
Yeah, that was awesome. Hi, Shadow.
Now I'd read reviews and I'd read statements that this movie went in ways you don't expect a Star Wars movie to go, and it did. Where you expect miracles, they don't happen. And then because they prevented the miracle, they'd have one in there that seemed kind of forced because they're like, well, we can't kill everybody. So we took away the miracle, but we can't actually kill everybody. How are we going to do this again? And then they'd put in some weird God machine moment. Some Deus Ex Machina would take place. That seemed kind of odd, but it worked. Everything in this movie worked.
Yep.
And Luke Skywalker is no longer Luke Skywalker. He's Mark Hamill. It's like he showed up and he looked at the script and went, "Nah, I'm not doing that. Can I tickle her with a blade of grass? Pardon? I'm going to tickle her with a blade of grass. That's not really a Luke Skywalker thing to do. Yeah, I'm going to tickle her with a blade of grass."
That was funny.
But it wasn't a Luke Skywalker moment. Throughout this movie, and it works because...
Well, he's been up secluded by himself.
And that's what I was going to say. They could have him being Mark Hamill because he's been isolated from humanity for a while. And he's got kind of odd.
Yes.
Kind of a little bit
crazy old
eccentric.
Hermit man.
Eccentric. And they have him on this planet where there's these ancient Jedi scrolls. And it's the only place in the universe to find them, which, as a fan of the expanded universe, all I could think was, really? Because there's Yavin. There's all kinds of Jedi stuff. There's Jedi stuff all over the galaxy. If these are the original books, okay, but there's Jedi stuff everywhere. So for me, anyways, it was a good movie based on the fact that it was clearly designed to destroy the past.
Yes.
This movie was with the idea of, okay, here's all your Star Wars. We've got everything Star Wars here, and by the way, we're going to blow it up. We're going to ruin it.
Kitty found a bag.
Yeah, well, Kitty's trying to get to Shadow, and I'm saying no.
No, she didn't care. She found a bag.
She does. She absolutely does. Pixel wants to kill Shadow, and she thinks now's the time to do it. But anyways, I thought the way that they did it was tasteful. Luke projecting himself and using up the rest of his Force energy and then becoming one with the Force was a nice touch.
Yes.
And what they're hinting at is that Kylo Ren, who almost turns, so you think he's going to turn, and then he doesn't.
Yeah.
Which frustrated me. I'll admit it frustrated me a little bit. As soon as they killed Snoke, I thought, oh crap, Ben's going to turn.
Mm-hmm.
And then him and Rey were fighting together, and I thought, okay, wait, maybe not. Yeah. Maybe they're going to go to Luke and they'll start a new Jedi Order. Nope. It's been said, too, I read a review where they said, coming out of this movie, you can see how they're just going to end the entire saga. I don't read it that way.
I didn't think so either.
I read this movie...
You told me about that one, too, and I don't.
Yeah, I read this movie as a rebirth of it.
Yeah.
As the idea that
new ones.
They're going to spread the Jedi all over the galaxy. That what Luke is saying is that, and what Yoda says when he shows up, is these texts don't mean anything.
Yeah, you can't.
The Force is itself, and there will be Jedi.
Right.
There will be people who learn the Force.
That's what Luke was saying to Rey before that. It's in everything. It's always everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then Yoda came along and said, yeah, by the way, you can't destroy the Jedi either. There will always be Jedi.
Right.
For years...
He points out that you haven't even read the books. What's so important about the books?
Yeah, and for years, the speculation has been who's Rey's parents. Is it Palpatine? Is it Han? is it Luke? And I had thought for the last 2 years, oh, she'll probably be Luke's daughter because she's so strong with the Force. Nope, they're nobody. They're unimportant. It doesn't matter. I thought the sequence where she went into that dark pit was some of the best, most creative Star Wars anything that's ever been done.
That was neat.
Where there was endless rays, the snapping of the fingers was awesome.
And they weren't all at the same time.
That was, and her narrating, I wasn't scared. And the idea that that's the dark side showing her stuff. And the idea that maybe in the next generation of Jedis, we're not just going to have light and dark. The fact that Yoda goes, yeah, we all fail. Failure is part of it. Which is totally different from the Yoda of Empire. Totally different from the Yoda of the old trilogy. That maybe in the afterlife he's been watching and learned, you know what? We were all wrong.
Right.
But he tells Luke, you can't lose Rey. And you can't. And I was actually worried towards the end of the movie. I thought, are they going to kill her off?
I didn't think they would.
That this movie really teases the idea that they could kill anybody off, and yet they don't really kill anybody.
No, I was thinking of that at the very end. That did anybody of significance actually die?
It was all red shirts.
Yeah, well,
It was all ensigns and red shirts and Snoke, who didn't do anything. Snoke is this giant red herring in the entire new trilogy.
Right.
Because you think he's going to be Palpatine.
I thought Rose was going to be dead.
Yeah.
And she didn't even die.
Yeah, I thought when she kissed Finn and then she...
I'm like, okay. She was dead.
So she passed away, that's okay. And then, oh no, she's still alive because Finn dragged her across a battlefield and nobody shot at him.
For that entire time, because that would have taken them forever.
And a battlefield made of salt.
It took forever to fly all the way over.
A planet that's really cold, except when it isn't.
But it wasn't cold, it just appeared cold. But it was salt. You think it's cold because you think it's snow. And then, until he does the salty.
The nice touch...
Like, oh, it's not snow, it's salt.
The nice touch in this movie, I thought, was the fact that whenever they have an alien landscape, they have alien animals there, which are believable as animals. They don't just look CGI. They don't distract you, like in the prequels. Anytime there was CGI on the screen, it would distract your eye away from what was going on. Mm-hmm. And here I thought they were done well. And yes, they'll make cutesy little stuffed action figures for little kids.
They were cute.
But they're not so cutesy. Yeah, but not just the porgs.
Fluffy, I know there was the
crystal
foxes,
the crystal dogs.
Did you see the sea monster thingy?
Yes.
In the background, that was really cool.
Yeah.
And then the weird manatee things.
That was kind of creepy.
Weird.
That was kind of creepy. Like I'm
weird.
Just sitting here with my boobs out. Luke comes and takes stuff from my boobs, and the way Luke looks back at Rey like, I'm drinking this and I like it. Like maybe he hates it, and he's just trying to convince himself he likes it.
Trying to gross her out.
And it was kind of a weird thing. The way that he fished, kind of. I think there's an easier way to do that.
But it was maybe the.
But it was like the Jedi way of doing it.
Could have been really deep water and a cliff and.
But again, it was Mark Hamill being Mark Hamill. Mm-hmm. I could totally see Mark Hamill saying, "Can we have this in the script?" And I'm going, "No, I don't think you should do that. I think it's a great idea." And then they do it because it's Mark Hamill.
It's to show how just crazy he is and how long he's been there that he has this figured out.
Since Return of the Jedi, since the end of the Star Wars, the original trilogy, for anybody who's familiar with Mark Hamill's work as Joker in the Batman cartoons, or his work as Trickster on Flash, both the original series and the current series, he has this awesome, diabolical, fantastic sense of humor. He's a lot of fun. And Luke Skywalker is not. And it's like when he came back to play him again, he went, okay, but I'm not Luke. It's sort of like when Data was in the movies of Star Trek. It was like, all right, well, I'm getting emotions because I'm tired of being a robot. So I'm just going to be a wuss, and I'm going to swear a lot, and you're just going to deal with it because whatever. But I thought it wasn't too ham-fisted, and I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
I really got a kick out of Luke. And I got a kick out of how quickly Rey is drawn to the dark side.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun. Like Rey's in her mind, like, okay, here's fields and, a big black pit I can dive into and learn everything. And he's like, what are you doing? I can't see you. What are you doing? You didn't even try to stay out of the black pit. You're not even trying to stay out of the darkness. Which Yoda's like, yeah, that's kind of how it works. So, in the original trilogy, they get light and dark. And then in the prequels, they talked a lot about bringing balance to the Force. And there was a lot of mention in this movie about balance.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm starting to think that by the end of Part 9, we're not necessarily just going to have light and dark.
Right,
like,
it wasn't just balance.
The Sith is now gone. And Kylo Ren, who wasn't a Sith Lord anyways.
No.
He is disposed of this idea of Sith or Jedi. The interesting thing, and I don't know if you noticed this, that he said Kylo took some of his students with him.
Yes, I did.
Where are those Jedi?
Yes, I had heard that, and I thought, I wonder where they are. Are they still with him?
Like, they're not the Red Guards.
No. But I had wondered that as well.
Because I'm wondering if that's going to come out in the 9th movie, too.
Maybe.
If Rey may find herself up against more than just Kylo. His Knights of Ren, maybe that's going to come into it, the Knights of Ren. Because since Force Awakens, when they show them, I've been like, wow, that is fun. And they didn't really get into that in this movie. I did think that there was the one part that I thought was ridiculous. And right away I'm like, oh, seriously? So they have this great space battle where they take out a dreadnought. As a Star Wars Rebels fan, I was very, very happy to see a dreadnought. Then they force jump, or they light speed jump, and they realize, oh, they're following us. They know where we are. Oh, we can't light speed jump again, or they'll find us, and we'll be out of fuel. So they very, very, very slowly get away, while the Empire very, very, very slowly pursues them. And I thought, do they have the same speedometer? Those giant ships have the exact same speed capability? I get that at light speed it's different, but at regular speed you'd think that ships would have different speeds. And then it's not just, I'm not touching you for the whole thing. And this is what the whole movie turns into, is I'm not touching you. I'm not quite touching you. And it's kind of silly. Because they're still firing at it, and they're still hitting the shield.
Yes.
So if they're out of firing range, how are they hitting it? That's where the movie I went, they're lasers? So no? You can go outside right now, and if you know how to point it at the moon, you can point a laser at the moon and reflect off of whatever crap the astronauts left up there. So if we can get a little laser pointer to hit the moon, I'm pretty sure that those laser guns used by the Empire could have blasted the crap out of that rebel ship. And that takes days. Because days of time pass for Rey on the planet with Luke.
Yeah.
While they're like, can't quite catch him. Could we do a light speed jump for 10 seconds to land right in front of them? Did they shoot officers that made that suggestion? They should have. Some officers should have stepped forward and said, this is stupid. We can light speed jump right on the other side of them, and then we can just shoot them. Can we? Kill him. Kill him now. He raises a good point, and kill yourself while you're at it. I just didn't understand that part of it. Space battles are tough because I think they don't take advantage of the 360-degree aspect of space enough.
I had thought about that because they'd all come in and vrink.
And it's like, we're all behind them.
They're all facing the same direction and all oriented the same way.
Because I had been
you don't have the,
I'd been really, really encouraged when those bombers came out of nowhere. And they came from above. And I was like, oh, cool. But they came from above way back so the dreadnought would have time to shoot them all. Why don't you just do the light speed jump right over top of the sucker? It's just I didn't get that part. Because to me, those bombers, okay, so those bombers are full of bombs. That's really, really poorly constructed.
Oh, I thought the same thing. Wow, those.
And then when those ships exploded,
yes,
the bombs didn't blow up because it was just a regular Star Wars explosion. I was like, oh man, one of them's going to blow up. This is going to be insane. Nope, just a regular Star Wars explosion. So the bombs don't because.
But they did.
But then when the bombs
go
off,
off each other.
But then when the bombs go off, with the last one there, it's this humongous chain of events that blows up the whole dreadnought. And I'm like,
But
How?
they said it was because she hit the specific spot. They were aiming for, like in Star Wars ships, how you have to hit the one spot, and then when you hit that one spot, the whole
You
thing
would think
explodes.
the First Order would learn from the Empire
Right,
and not
that
have
they
that
shouldn't
one
have
spot that makes
They
everything
shouldn't have
explode.
the button that blows the whole ship up. But they did.
That's some
and
bad
she
engineering.
hit it. But when the other ones, they got shot, they did explode, and those explosions set off some of the other ships.
Yeah, but they weren't big. They should have been
were, though.
shockwave level explosions. Like at the end, when Zippy Pinhead decides to turn the ship around and finally fly into it. Oh, we couldn't do that remotely. Why not? Could do it in the originals. Anyways, so because Laura Dern thankfully kills herself, God, I hated that character so much. Admiral Ding Dong, whatever, I don't care. So Admiral Ding Dong decides she's going to turn the ship around and lightspeed jump into the other ships. It's a really good thing none of them decide to get out of the way. I couldn't figure that part out either. I'm like, it's like she starts to turn around. They're like, she's going to ram at us. And I thought, okay, so they're just going to wait.
Because it's a big ship, and big ships can't move fast.
They can
Like
light speed jump
water.
out.
But it takes them a little bit, they have to warm up the engines.
It didn't take them that long to catch up to them.
Because they were prepared. Just go along.
It didn't make sense. And yet I'm giving the movie a 10. Because every Star Wars movie that's ever been released, you could nitpick battles that way. For example, the Imperial Walkers are the stupidest thing ever created.
Those are dorky.
And ever since the AT-ATs first appeared in Empire, they are the most useless craft for taking over anything. Because they're huge, they're slow, and you can hear them coming miles away. And why the Empire, and now the First Order. Now the First Order does it too. Why you set them down on the ground miles and miles away so people have time to get ready for you? This one, at least they were close.
Yes.
But they had that weird cannon thing.
Yeah.
And it was like miniaturized Death Star technology, but all it did was blow up a door. And I thought, that's really miniaturized technology that it blew up the door and didn't kill anybody behind it.
Because it was a really strong door.
Didn't kill anybody behind the door.
It's really strong.
They would have kept firing,
Strong
and
door.
this giant cannon wouldn't have known to stop when the door caved in.
Sure it did.
Wouldn't have known to stop.
Maybe did.
I did like the play between General Hux and Poe, and I did like General Hux with Kylo. And General Hux and Poe Dameron, for cinephiles like myself, they were in a movie called I want to say Artificial Intelligence, but that wasn't it. Deus Ex, which is I think it's called Deus Ex, which is a guy, the guy who plays Poe now. He's created these robots that can live and breathe like humans and regular humans, and you can marry them if you want. You can do whatever you want with them, and they're really smart, but they're really subservient too. And the guy that he brings to, he's this reclusive billionaire that's created these things, and the guy who's come to talk to him about it and report on it is the one that now plays Hux. So when I saw the two of them talking back and forth, I was brought back to that movie, and I thought, or no, it's Ex Machina, is the name of the movie, and I thought of that one. I was like, this is really kind of a fun throwback to that in the whole. I don't know. It felt really, really funny, because in Ex Machina, it's the guy who plays Poe is the one that's the bad guy, and the one who played Hux is the good guy, the innocent. And then they kind of switch a little bit towards the end of the movie. It's a really good movie though, so it was nice to see them have some wordplay with one another like that. The on hold thing was weird because I didn't know that.
That was funny.
It was funny, and yet, do they have telephones to put people on hold like that? I've never seen that in Star Wars ever.
That was funny.
I'm on hold for Hux. Is that with a G? Hugs? And that's a point too that I thought, how many people in the theater missed that? They was calling him Hugs.
That was funny.
I'm waiting for Hugs. Hug. G. It's Hugs? Hugs, right? And they're talking, and then too, I think he's stalling.
That was funny.
It was an interesting item for sure. I thought it was there was a lot of fun stuff in this movie. I can't recommend it enough. If anybody's watching this spoiler-filled review that hasn't seen it, I'm not sure why. But if you haven't seen it, I do highly recommend it. If you've seen it and you didn't like it, I don't understand why you didn't like it. I think because those of us who grew up with this, or we have a set of rules in our brain for how the characters should react and how people should be and what lines work and what doesn't, I think sometimes we end up being closed off to new ideas and to changing what the series is. And what Disney's done now is they've broadened it out so that they can make movies now almost anywhere in the Star Wars universe.
Which would be cool.
By making Rey not family, it can be anyone, anywhere, at any time.
Yeah. I really like Kylo. He's awesome. He's still my favorite.
See, she came out of this movie still thinking Kylo's her favorite, and I've come out of this movie with the disturbing realization that I have a crush on Daisy Ridley. And I didn't before this movie. At no point did I have that during Force Awakens. There's just something in this movie that by the end of this movie, I was like, oh, I'm in love. She's kind of fantastic. I was very upset at the idea that I thought she might die.
I didn't think she was going to die. I was worried that they were going to kill Princess Leia. I was pretty positive that she was going to die in this movie. Now I know she's going to die in the next movie.
Or she's not on screen.
Maybe.
Because of the way they write it at the end, that Leia says, this is a new beginning and it's a new rebellion. You can have it that Leia has retired, and you could just have Leia not on the screen for it.
Maybe.
Because she never confronted Kylo. I was actually surprised by that. That they didn't really get into that at all. In any of it. Like, there's that moment where Kylo's going to fire, and then he realizes his mother's there, so he doesn't. And I thought they'd do more with that, and they didn't.
I don't think there was really an opportunity, though. Because of where she was and where he was. I don't know how they would have made that work.
Couldn't he have sensed she was on the other side of that door? Wouldn't that have bothered him because he thought she was dead?
Maybe, or maybe they were too far away.
Was Luke somehow shielding him from knowing that?
Maybe.
There's a lot of stuff in here that I'm really curious to get into books in between this movie and the next one about. See how long Episode 9 is drawn after this one? You could have Episode 9 set 10 years after this one. You could totally get away with that.
Well, maybe.
They won't, but they could.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. Anyways, let me know what you guys thought in the comment section below. Yeah, for me it was a 10. For you it was...
A 10. I already said that.
A 10 as well. I just want to make sure you repeat that so we agree. We 100% agree that the new Star Wars movie, they didn't try to recreate Empire in my mind at all.
No. No, but they did a really good job of connecting it to the old movies. Like having similar uniforms.
Like, he doesn't really train her.
No, he really
just
doesn't.
He just says, you know what? You don't want to do this. And here's why. So don't do it.
Right. But I thought it was really cool. There were lots of little things that they did to make it similar to the old movies. So you could tell that they were in the same... Not just the same world, but the same groups of people. Not necessarily the same specific people, but same groups. Because there were the uniforms or some of the places they would go. There was similarities.
Well,
which I thought was really neat.
As soon as Benicio del Lando showed up, I knew he was going to be Lando Calrissian.
Yes.
I was like, oh, all right, so here's your scoundrel, gambler, kind of shady character that's going to help them and then not. So he's Lando Calrissian, just Benicio del Toro version. And I was right. Never trust Benicio del Toro.
Well, that's true. And I also thought it was really neat that throughout the movie, all of the main characters, lead characters, there's a lot of women and a lot of not white men.
Yeah, but people are going to say...
But it's not, like...
People are going to come down on the movie for that, though. There are certain people who are going to say it was more fun when it was Luke and Han and everybody else knew their place.
Well, and people are stupid. But all of the leaders for the rebellion were all women. Because there's...
Is that why they're all dying? Ah!
Okay.
Okay.
It's awesome. And then there's...
But they're setting up Poe to be the new leader. Poe's the one that took the lead about 3 different times in this movie, and every time a woman's like, you don't do that, you're like, yeah, Poe does that. Poe does what Poe wants. They're setting up as the new Han Solo.
Could be.
Yeah, absolutely. He didn't show a Han Solo side in the first movie as much. This one he definitely did.
But what about Finn and Rose?
I think that's so that they have some kind of a romantic storyline somewhere, somehow, and they realize they don't want it for Rey.
I sure hope not. I would like it to not be with Rey at all.
No, because if
They
she's
could
going to be a
not.
Jedi, she can't be married.
They can not have her.
Jedi can't get married.
She
Although,
doesn't need a
now
love
that the
interest.
books are all destroyed, and now that all the old ideas are out, maybe Jedi will get married.
Yes, but they don't need to add a love interest for her in the
No.
movie. That'd be good if they
I
did
am
it.
wondering, too, if with the next movie, if... Because this whole thing is that Kylo wants to be as strong as Darth, will they bring Anakin in? So
How?
Luke as the spirit is driving
Oh.
Kylo crazy. What if Anakin's spirit comes back and says, yeah, you know what? No. This is bad. What you're doing is just not going to work.
I don't know that they could. I don't know if that would work.
Because there had been rumors that Hayden Christensen was going to be doing something with this next... Not this movie, obviously. He wasn't in it, but the next one. But it was a rumor, and there's all kinds of speculation about everything. Remember, going into this movie, the speculation was that Rey would be Palpatine's daughter. Which I thought would have been awesome.
Right.
But she's nobody's mother. Or nobody's daughter. Doesn't matter. And somewhere, I could just hear George Lucas when they said that going, what? No! No! Make it a family movie. It's about the family. Not anymore. The Skywalker family is gone. Kylo is the last remnant of any of that. And he's on his way. Because I think they're going to kill Kylo
I
off.
hope not. I really like Kylo.
I don't understand how. I mean, he didn't kill
'Cause
younglings.
He's awesome.
He didn't kill younglings, but
Nope.
still.
He's awesome.
Like Leia says at the end of this, her son is gone.
I don't think he is, though.
Are you arguing with the princess?
I know. But she doesn't get
Even
to
Rey
see
gave
him.
up on him.
I know, but she shouldn't have. She shouldn't have tried to kill him. Or stab him. What was she trying to do to him?
She didn't have a choice.
She did, though.
She
were
knew.
having a conversation.
No, she could tell. Like, he was like, come join me, we can rule the galaxy. And she's like, whoa, no. No. And that was when she knew he was still evil. He just figured she had joined him. And now that Snoke was gone, thank God, that they could move on.
See, but she didn't have to resort to violence. Could have tried to work out. Just talk about their difficulties and their differences.
Are you saying that my girlfriend is not as cool as your boyfriend? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Your boyfriend Kylo
Kylo's
is just
awesome.
misunderstood, and my girlfriend
Yep.
Rey trying to injure him
She's just
wasn't
violent.
justified.
Yeah, violence never solves things.
No. No.
Violence is never the answer, Shannon.
Yes, actually it is.
No.
Yes.
It's not.
Even with the cute little porgs
Should've-
sitting right there,
Those were cute. That was
flying
funny.
up against the window
That was
and
funny.
squawking, even while Chewie's like swatting it out of the way.
You got
It's
to
not
feel
like
it.
in the
It's like,
commercial.
"Get out of here."
In the commercial,
They're
they made
not
it
his
look
little
like
buddy.
yeah, they made it look like it was his little pet in the
And
commercials.
he's just like, "Stop following me."
Yeah, he doesn't
Why
like them.
are you guys here?
But they're like little pests, and they basically infest the.
They've decided they like Chewbacca.
Yeah, and they like the Millennium Falcon, so they're going to stick around. And they got like
She's
wires
"You guys
wrapped
are
around their
in
face.
My way.
They got a little nest in there too for their babies. Yeah, it's really weird.
They're cute though.
They are cute.
They
They are cute.
try and make Chewbacca sounds.
Is
like
that what they were doing?
Yes, because he did that. You know, the Chewbacca
Yeah.
sound, and then they did their too.
With
They
the
were
wings
being-
out.
They were being Chewbacca's because they like him and they look up to him.
They're cute little things. They are.
They
Especially
are.
when he's eating the chicken and it's just looking at him.
Yeah. No, that wasn't chicken. That
Yeah,
was
it was.
one of them. That's why it had the feet.
Oh, okay.
It was one of
And
them.
paying
That's
attention.
why he was They were looking at him like.
Oh, okay.
That's why it had the feet.
Okay, I didn't pay attention to that
He
part.
had 2 of them all roasted up.
I thought they were hungry. He was shooing them away.
No, he was eating one of them.
Oh.
That's why it had the feet on it, so you could tell it was one of them.
Okay, I didn't notice that part. That was
Yeah.
Yeah, that's too bad then.
But
But they still liked him.
He'd already killed them and roasted them,
Oh,
rotisseried them.
jeez.
But they only got upset once he tried to take a bite.
They liked him.
I
He
know.
was furry like them.
Right, he was like the big dad or something.
It's big furry. Maybe they have some
One
kind of a
us.
yeah. He was like
Yeah.
their version of the claw.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah. That's what they remind me of, is those little green guys from Toy Story that like the claw.
Yeah.
That's what they were like.
Yeah.
Just little furry bear bird things.
Mhm.
They couldn't fly.
No.
They're cute.
No, they're
though.
like little penguins.
Yeah. Yeah, like penguins and gremlins smashed together.
Yeah.
If Gizmo was a penguin, that's what it would look like.
There you go. Yeah.
All right, now that's it. So if you want to see Gizmo penguins, go out and see it. It's a good movie. It really is. It's a very good movie. It's fine for kids.
Oh yeah.
The violence doesn't go over the top.
It's Star Wars violence.
It's yeah, but it's not Revenge of the Sith level violence. Revenge of
No.
the Sith goes too far. And there's parts of Force Awakens, there's torture scenes in that too.
True.
And this one didn't have that.
No.
So, and anytime you think something's about to happen, then, Deus Ex Machina takes over and it's all fine. All right. Thank you guys for watching, and like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through and you just happen upon this page. And if you're wondering, where's the hockey videos? Now you know why. All right. I'll talk to you again soon.